You know, I think I'm pretty well prepared for this video. I feel like I have to make this video today, and we're just going to hit record and see where we end up. I haven't been this pissed. I haven't been this frustrated as a fan since the days of Vince McMahon and how he wanted to come back to the company, abuse his power, and just continue to take over everything that was going on creatively in light of all his malicious and absolutely deplorable behavior. Almost acting as if he didn't do anything wrong. Please, this is my company. I'm coming back. I have all the power. WrestleMania 41 should have been the successor to WrestleMania 40 that us fans could have absolutely celebrated over. We did not celebrate. We didn't celebrate at all because what we looked at on night 2 especially was one of the worst main events in WrestleMania history, one of the biggest flops in WWE history, and now we have someone in Dwayne Johnson who is outright defiant, going on Pat McAfee show yesterday and basically taking everything that happened and placing the blame on the current administration led by Triple H. He was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. I watched with open eyes and open ears intently at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. He went on the Pat McAfee show, and I find it funny how after everything that had happened this weekend, coming out of night 2, and then coming out of Monday, it's amazing the series of events that we got. WrestleMania Night 1 was awful. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, they saved Saturday night. Everybody was on an emotional high going into Sunday. Everybody was excited going into Sunday at the prospect of Seth Rollins. Is Seth Rollins the third man? Is Seth Rollins going to sell his soul? Are we going to see Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman standing side by side with The Rock and John Cena? It was right there for them to take. We get to night 2. Much better than night 1. Then we get to the main event, and we get what we get. Everybody is talking about how bad the main event is. Everybody's talking about the missing piece, that The Rock didn't show up. Everybody's talking about that. We go into Monday. Triple H gives us this great Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, one of the better Raw after Manias in many, many, many years. And then The Rock goes on Pat McAfee and blows it all up. So we go from great main event on night 1, great show on night 2, terrible main event on night 2, great Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania with the way that they ended, and then The Rock blows everything up. What a 48 hours there, Dwayne. I don't really understand the logic to what's going on. I think I know what's going on. I mean, it's clear as day as to what's going on, but I think his interview on Pat McAfee really just kind of exposed what was going on. Let's start with this. Pat McAfee and The Rock sat down and they talked about the Elimination Chamber. Rock says this about the Chamber. I got a call about a month before the Elimination Chamber. I get a call from Ari Emanuel, who we know owns TKO. TKO owns WWE. He's been my longtime business partner and one of my best friends for over 20 years. He said we need help at the Elimination Chamber. Ticket sales are slow. Ticket sales are slow. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. The Rock shows up a week before the Elimination Chamber on Friday Night SmackDown, so there's a full 7 days before we get to the actual Elimination Chamber show, which is primarily built around the Elimination Chambers because it's an integral part of the road to WrestleMania. John Cena's in his last chamber. CM Punk is in that chamber. John Cena and CM Punk will be in the chamber at the same time. John Cena and what he's doing this year in his final year is the selling point. So Dwayne shows up 7 days before the chamber, and he puts himself into a storyline because supposedly Ari Emanuel wanted him there at the chamber for poor ticket sales. The Elimination Chamber was already 40,000 deep at Rogers Center for that following Saturday. I don't know how many tickets The Rock ended up selling for the Elimination Chamber, but I'm sure it did nothing in the grand scheme of things for WWE to boast even more about the revenue and the ticket sales that they had for that show in Toronto on March 1st. So The Rock needed at the Chamber is a complete bullshit narrative. Do you know what we needed at the Chamber? John Cena, his last Chamber in his final year, trying to get into the main event. And oh my God, he's in the Elimination Chamber with probably one of his career's greatest rivals in CM Punk. That is it. We didn't need The Rock at the Elimination Chamber. And Ari Emanuel tells The Rock, ticket sales are low. Mr. Emanuel, let me tell you something there, bro. The Elimination Chamber and the ticket sales, why are they so slow? Why aren't they selling? I don't know. Maybe it costs a fucking down payment on a small house to take a family of 3 or 4 to go enjoy a WWE live event. They're not slow because The Rock is not there. You have one of the most loaded rosters in WWE history on the road to WrestleMania, their biggest season of the year, and you're citing slow ticket sales because Dwayne is not at the Elimination Chamber. Fuck out of here, man. Complete bullshit. Now, he wanted to be at the Chamber because he needed to be integrated into the road to WrestleMania because they didn't factor him in the plans creatively yet. Beyond that, he goes, what are we finding is with Chamber? It's becoming the pay-per-view that's been interesting and fans have had fun, but it's also the conduit for WrestleMania and how we create an Elimination Chamber that people must tune in to see. For all the reasons that I just mentioned, we didn't need Dwayne for people to tune into the Elimination Chamber. How do we create that? And he said, right now we don't have that. Will the final boss show up? So Rock shows up on the Friday night before the week of Elimination Chamber, asks Cody, I want your soul. I want a brother. I've never had a true brother. I want your soul. I want you to be my champion. Everybody's asking, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Why do you want Cody's soul? What does that mean for you to take Cody's soul? And what does that mean that you want Cody to be your champion? Weren't you just on January 6th, Netflix debut from Monday Night Raw, glazing Cody Rhodes in the front row, basically telling him that he has been your champion for the last year and that he's put the company on his back in the most financially successful year in the history of WWE? Or am I going fucking blind and deaf? None of what he said here made sense. None of what he said here made sense. Speaking of the soul, Rock on the final boss wanting Cody Rhodes' soul. It was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how will fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss? Let's get a temperature check on this. Let's establish it. Let's anchor it in. And come to find out, there was a lot of fans who were saying, sell your soul. I'm sorry, Dwayne. What? There were a lot of fans that wanted Cody Rhodes to sell his soul? That's not what I heard, and that's not what I saw. The people that were being mentioned as far as selling their soul were Rollins and CM Punk. I never heard anybody or looked at anybody seriously when they said maybe Cody would sell his soul. Where are you getting that type of narrative and where are you getting that information? Do you want to know why Rock was so obsessed with possibly Cody turning heel and selling his soul? He goes on to say, this shit is going to be crazy. Whatever it is, it's compelling. It's going to be great. Let's do it. Sell your soul. So I was an advocate of that. Not turning Cody heel soon, but eventually down the line. I like that idea because Cody's a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy. He's a ring general. And I think this idea, you give him a reason to turn way down the road, by the way. You give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, not based on this, but it's his soul. And what that means, that affects generations. It's transcendent beyond pro wrestling, and fans were loving it. As we get closer to Elimination Chamber, we were kicking around ideas, myself and Triple H. And that's the fun part, by the way. Sure, I've been kicking ideas around with Triple H for 20 years. We're always having a great time with him and Nick Khan and my team as well. And Triple H says, what about this? What about turning John Cena heel? I said, I love it. I love it. Rock goes on to say, Cody is a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy. He's a ring general. Let's do it. Let's sell your soul. Cody is intelligent, Dwayne, because he said no to your stupid fucking idea at this point in time. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the idea of Cody turning heel is not an interesting aspect. But now, 1 year after he ended Roman Reigns' 4.5 years as WWE champion, and he's the most successful, financially successful WWE champion of any era ever. And the company is doing more money than any point in their history. You want to take the one guy who's the centerpiece of their success and you want to turn him heel? Why? You say Cody's a smart businessman, a smart guy. He is because he told you no. You're the one who's not a smart businessman. You're the one who's not a smart guy because you see greed. You are selfish. Rock wanted to turn Cody heel because he can't live with the fact that Cody's fans and Cody himself won over everybody last year and made him look fucking stupid. Cody won the Royal Rumble, pointed at Roman Reigns. Rock ex Cody for the title match because his family needs Rock and Roman. So Cody looked like a complete fucking bitch, a pussy, a cuck, whatever you want to define him as. They hug. Cody's facial expression said it all. Fans were, what the fuck? How are you just going to disregard the Royal Rumble? I just watched this guy win the Royal Rumble, point to Roman Reigns. Rematch from 39, and you're just going to hand it over? Bro, you fucked up. You think fans forgot about that? Your ego was shattered to pieces, and you are still left picking them up. That bruised Rock so much that this is the reason why he wants to turn Cody heel this year so vehemently, because he wants to be the people's champion. And I'm not even talking about character-wise. This is legitimate real life. Rock's ego's bruised. He wants to be the people's champion. He wants to be the guy that people admire and look towards, the savior. We should bow down to Dwayne Johnson. That's the reason why. Solid Monster said last night on TNT, and I quote, he would not be surprised if he wants to turn Cody into a heel so that he can be the babyface and eventually drop the title to Roman and it stays in the family. He does it for the family. He wants to take the title from a heel Cody with him being the people's champion. Folks, we're dealing with some really fucking demented, uber political garbage right now, and most of the people are not going to be able to decipher what's going on here, man. Listen, I've been doing this way too long. I've been at this for many, many, many years, man. I've been through the fucking thick and thin. I've been in the fucking trenches with Vince McMahon and everything that he did, man. If you don't think I know what the fuck is going on just by listening to people talk, looking in their eyes, hearing them speak, and then seeing shit play out or don't play out on television, man, you got another fucking thing coming, bro. I said this on Monday. I'll get to what I said on Monday. Monday, after it sat with me for 24 hours on the live stream when we reviewed Raw. I will say exactly what I said then. This is exactly what The Rock is thinking about. He wants the spotlight And he can't stand the fact that Cody, who was there, made a name for himself, made a man out of himself, led another company, only to come back and within 3 years is the fucking man. Because Cody is a Rhodes. Cody is not an Anoa'i. And he feels that his family should own everything. He feels like he should be the one. He's the guy. He's the king. The one that puts the food on the table. That's him. And he can't stand the fact that someone else came in here and took it all away from him and that we backed Cody and not The Rock. I love it, turning John Cena heel. Yeah, that's something the fans wanted. Of course you're going to love it. Not appearing at WrestleMania 41 weekend. This is where we get into the more bullshit of the excuses. So when we were moving forward with John and this idea of him getting crowned at WrestleMania and being a heel champion, I knew then the best thing for the final boss. We've established this idea for Cody's soul, which, by the way, you look back at it, none of it was needed. None of it made sense, and none of it was needed. We've established this idea for Cody's soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. Step back. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all of the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul eventually or John's soul. No, let's let them do what they do. And I called John after Elimination Chamber. I spoke to him. I called Cody. I said, I think the final boss's work is done. We've established it. We've just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of pro wrestling other than Hulk Hogan turning heel in the 90s. I said, this is amazing. We have 6 weeks. Now let's build. You guys go and crush it, and I'll be right there with you. And I'm always here if you need me. But I think it's best not for the final boss to be involved in that finish. I read that now. I read that now back. I'm still blown away at how those words legitimately came out of his mouth live on the biggest sports podcast in the history of podcasting right now. What are we doing here? How could you have the fucking balls to sit here and say that? I knew the best thing for the final boss. We've established this idea for Cody, so we can always come back to it. Come back to it when? Come back to it when? Why are you thinking about Cody's soul fucking 3 years from now, 2 years from now, even 12 months from now? Why? You did it now. It matters now, not later. We've established this idea for Cody's soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. You motherfucker. You showed up at the Elimination Chamber on February 1st to involve yourself in the biggest heel turn in company history. And then you want to say on national fucking television that you don't think you should be involved in it. Bro, you're already involved in it. You put yourself as the centerpiece of the story. No matter how you look at it, you are involved. You asked Cody for his soul a week before the chamber. You invite Cody to the chamber on March 1st. Cody gives you the answer of, go fuck yourself, Rock. No, I'm not selling you my soul. For you to then do the throat slash as you and Cena exchange gazes. So we are all under the assumption that it wasn't Cody who wanted to sell his soul, but John Cena sold his soul. It was you. You're the puppet master here. John Cena, from our perspective, was the one to sell his soul. Cody was not. He sold his soul to you. And then you want to go out there on Pat McAfee show and say, I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. I don't know. He wants to step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. How are you going to leave a storyline like this with the biggest heel turn in company history so open-ended? I called John after the chamber, spoke to him, called Cody. I said, I think the final boss's work is done. Motherfucker, your work is just beginning. The story is just beginning. We have 6 weeks. Now let's build. They built nothing. How could we build without you there? The first 2 weeks after the chamber, no John Cena. His European tour, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We got John Cena versus the fans. John Cena versus the fans. John Cena putting the fans down. And then in week 3, he finally mentioned Cody Rhodes. In no promo on that tour did John Cena mention The Rock. But we just saw him at the Elimination Chamber throw up the fucking 3 and do the throat slash. And Cody was laid out. John Cena sold his soul. Not one mention of The Rock being there and orchestrating this entire plan. It is unbelievable to me. It is unbelievable to me how you can absolutely bullshit everybody. I think the final boss's work is done. It is just getting started, or at least it should have gotten started. On Cody versus Cena at WrestleMania 41, they had 6 weeks to plan for that. How the fuck could they plan for it if you're not there? So I loved the finish of the match. You loved the finish of the match. The finish of the match was one of the worst endings in WWE history. I would have finessed things a little bit differently in how they got there. But that's just me creative. How we got there, we couldn't get there without your involvement. We could not get there without you being there on television. There are a lot of minds in the room. That's my thought. But still, ultimately, the bottom line was I love John getting number 17. And I never had a concern about John pulling this off. My thoughts are always to Cody because of what we've established with him in his story and the kind of babyface that he is. So if done right, and I think if finessed right, and it's nuanced right down the road, that guy not only has an incredible babyface run again as champion, but also an unheard of run as a heel down the road. That's the second time in this fucking thing. The second time in this interview he mentioned Cody going heel. I said it on Monday. During John Cena's promo, I went into a completely off-the-road rant. The Rock showed up at WrestleMania last year, blew plans up, course corrected. I don't know who told who what. We got the final boss. We got Roman versus Cody. We got the best ending ever maybe to a WrestleMania match with one of the greatest main events of all time. Whatever happened last year, they course corrected it. It didn't sit well with The Rock at all. At all. He did what he had to do just to save WrestleMania and save face. So everybody wanted to see heel Rock. We got Final Boss Rock. It was tremendous television, don't get me wrong. I wish we could go back to that and everybody would be selfless. Shows up on the Raw after Mania. He pets Cody's title. He's eyeing Cody's title. He even at one point asked Cody to hold his People's Championship. And he held the WWE Championship. Literally, not even 24 hours after Cody won it, he's like lusting over the championship. He hands Cody something. They shake hands. He says, Cody, don't go and break my heart again. He walks away. We don't see him for the entire year up until October, where he shows up at Bad Blood in the main event when it was Cody and Roman, and Jimmy returned that night, Jimmy Uso, against Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. He shows up after the match is over in the Bloodline and Cody stand tall, Roman's Bloodline. He shows up. His music hits. comes out, he does that fabled 1, 2, 3, and then the throat slash, and he walks away. I mean, it was comical to see Cody and Roman in the ring just with this dumbfounded look. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't even think they expected that. Probably did it on his own, Dwayne. There was just this confused look about what was going on. We didn't see The Rock again for another couple of months until January 6th, where he shows up, and he doesn't even show up as the final boss. When that moment at Bad Blood, we saw the final boss. He shows up on January 6th as Dwayne, fucking board member of TKO Johnson. Cody is my champion. Cody's our champion. He's a great company champion. He's carried the company on his back. He puts over Roman. He was even on the show. He hands the Ulafala to Roman Reigns after Roman got it back after beating Solo Sikoa. That same night, live on Instagram, he was live streaming, drinking tequila with Cody Rhodes and drinking Wheatley's vodka with Cody Rhodes. And they're buddy, and they're all doing this, and they're fucking hugging, and they're laughing, and they're telling jokes. And everybody was telling him, why? Why? How are we going to look at you do this to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and then show up as if nothing happened? You show up not as final boss, as Rock, as Dwayne, the good guy, putting over the company and schmoozing with your fucking celebrity friends to go then drink tequila with Cody as if nothing. Hell yeah, we're best friends, we're brothers. This and that, the mana, feel the mana, fucking Papa Tooie and all this other shit. So he shows up on January 7th NXT after he got flamed online, fans asking why. He shows up. I'm 20 steps ahead. He was obviously fucking drunk off a half a bottle of fucking Terramana. Shows up. I'm 20 steps ahead. Know your role and shut your mouth and enjoy the ride The Rock is going to take you on. Motherfucker, you're 20 steps behind. Meaning 20 steps ahead. We don't see him again until the SmackDown before the week of the Elimination Chamber. He shows up. I want your soul. I want you to be my champion. I want you as my brother. The fuck does this mean? Then we get the Cena heel turn. Rock does the 1, 2, 3 throat slash. It wasn't Cody who sold his soul. It was John Cena who sold his soul, because that's what we are to believe after you set it all up. And then he disappears, never to be seen once on the road to WrestleMania. I foolishly said, after the chamber, everything's lining up. Everything's making sense. Man, this was a beautiful story playing out right before our very eyes. What should have resulted in Cody versus The Rock, or Cody versus Cena with The Rock there, as Rock finally is doing business with Cena on his way to winning number 17 because John Cena is so desperate that he sold his soul to The Rock. He doesn't show up. Oh, I'm on my island paradise in Maui on my hammock. I'm watching from home, he said, as he puts over some of the matches and some of the performers, and he puts over Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. He watched it from home. Then we get Sunday. We get John Cena winning number 17. No Rock. No anybody. Travis Scott shows up, and Travis Scott takes forever to get to the ring, integrates himself into the match. The payback, or the receipt that he had coming to him, was one Crossroads. Cena, a kick to the nuts after a tug of war with the WWE Championship and Cody Rhodes. AA, and that's the way WrestleMania goes off the air. But The Rock says the final boss's work is done. I'm going to remove myself from the creative here. I don't think I need to be involved. The Rock single-handedly fucked up WrestleMania 41. The biggest storyline that WWE will have all year is John Cena chasing number 17. John Cena's heel turn. The Rock fucked, and I use this so emphatically. I don't have the tone to express how fucking fucked up this is. The Rock fucked up WrestleMania single-handedly. He was supposed to be there. Something happened. I said this on Monday. There's a political rift backstage. Something ain't right. It's something that we may never know fully about and what's going on. There is a political rift. The Rock was supposed to be a part of this, and then he actively removed himself from the situation. On Pat McAfee, he didn't make it sound like it was I don't need to be a part of it. No, Rock didn't want to be a part of it because The Rock was not going to get what he wants. The direction of everything was not going to go in The Rock's way. WWE was stuck with whatever they were left with, and it's all thanks to The Rock. The Rock fucked up WrestleMania without him being there. Could he have saved WrestleMania? If he was on the road to WrestleMania and we got some shows, some Raws, some SmackDowns with The Rock, it could have been a tremendous WrestleMania season. We didn't get that. Like we did last year, Rock concert, Rock and Roman beat up Cody and Seth, that tremendous segment with Rock beating Cody outside of his tour bus in the rain, Mama Rhodes. We didn't get none of that. We didn't even get that from Cena. How could we get that from Cena when he sold his soul to The Rock, sold his soul to somebody that refused to show up to television? He could have saved everything on Sunday night by simply appearing. He could have been down there after Travis Scott got fucking Crossroads. He could have stood on the stage and did the throat slash again, meaning that he's there at least to stand by his guy who sold his soul to him, and now he finally got his champion. You could have went away and did whatever you got to do. Fucking Fast and Furious, Martin Scorsese, Leo DiCaprio. You could have went to Maui and fucking hung out and Papa Tui'd yourself into fucking oblivion. As long as you were there, at least there would have been months of people. Oh man, The Rock showed up. What's The Rock gonna do next? Instead, we're left asking, why didn't he show up? Where is he? He needs to be here. He should be here. His inclusion is needed. No, just don't show up at all. Ignore all the cries. Ignore all the criticisms. Don't show up. He fucked everything up. There was a political rift backstage that caused this outcome on Sunday night. The Rock was supposed to be there. The Rock should have been there. Nothing else would have made sense without The Rock physically appearing on Sunday. So he refused, he backed out, he didn't get his way, and Triple H was left to pick up the pieces. The only thing that made sense was Rock there and Rock show up. And if that was the case and Rock removed, the only thing that Triple H was left with was Travis Scott. This is why I said so emphatically, there is absolutely no fucking way possible that I'm going to blame, or you should blame, Triple H. You can blame him for night one because that shit was terrible. There's no way that his creative team sat down collectively that this was the plan for WrestleMania. John Cena's going to win number 17, and all we're going to do is have Travis Scott go out there and cost Cody Rhodes the match. Are you fucking mental? Are you mental? If you think that is the best that Triple H's writing team, his creative team had to offer this main event, you are absolutely fucking out to lunch, man. You've lost the plot completely. There is no way anybody could believe that was the best ending that they could come up with. It was supposed to be Dwayne. He refused to show up, and Triple H was left taking the blame. Triple H was left with no other options but Travis Scott because nobody else made sense. Even if we were speculating about a third man, maybe it's Paul Heyman, maybe it's Seth Rollins. How could that be? How could that be if The Rock is not there? He's the figurehead of everything. If he was forming a group or forming a stable, he needs to be there because he's the one pulling the strings, just like he did with John Cena. Why would Triple H go and do that without The Rock's involvement? It doesn't make sense. And The Rock is not going to be on he's not even going to be on television to usher in another person who sold his soul, another member to this group. It's not John Cena leading the group, it's Rock leading the charge here. Triple H was left with nothing but Travis Scott. The Rock not only fucked up WrestleMania, The Rock was so greedy, The Rock was so selfish that he needed He blamed Ari Emanuel for saying, oh, ticket sales are low. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll show up. Ticket sales weren't low. Give me a fucking break. They were low because it cost a fucking a piece of your lung and a fucking whatever to go attend these shows. It's ridiculous. If you lowered the ticket prices to somewhat of a normal price, you'd get the amount of people you want in that venue. The Rock wasn't needed to sell extra tickets. They didn't see John Cena. Nobody expected The Rock here. Not only did The Rock fuck up WrestleMania because of his greed and his selfishness, now people are starting to look back, and I'm starting to look back at how things could have been done. The Rock wanted to do this, and if it went the way that it should, it would have been brilliant. It would have been brilliant. There were so many doors that could have been opened. But now, since he's decided to not involve himself, now people are starting to look back, and I said this on Tuesday night last night with Solid Monster. Imagine if The Rock didn't show up. JD, how did The Rock ruin WrestleMania? Look at what we got on Sunday. Do you realize what we could have been given if The Rock never really showed up at all and didn't ask Cody to sell his soul? The Elimination Chamber, and there was a report that this wasn't supposed to happen at the Chamber, it was supposed to happen at WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer legitimately called this fucking step-by-step. And everybody, whether you like him or not, owes him an apology. If The Rock didn't show up, JD, how did The Rock ruin WrestleMania? Look at what they did on Sunday. You want to look back at it now. If The Rock never showed up, John Cena won the Elimination Chamber. Punk got fucked over by Seth Rollins. Everything would remain the same. You end the show with John Cena in the ring, and he wins, sends the crowd home happy. Cody Rhodes gets his dream match with John Cena. They shake hands, they hug. We're going to WrestleMania. Now, granted, it would be babyface versus babyface, but that would be the beauty of it. You sell it. You sell it on that. I don't know what the road to WrestleMania would have looked like. That's what the writing team is for. They had 6 weeks to figure it out. I'm sure it wouldn't have been any worse than what we got with Cody Rhodes and heel John Cena without The Rock being involved. Elimination Chamber goes off the air with them embracing no Rock at all, no Travis Scott, no selling of the soul, no soul at all. We get to WrestleMania. The match goes on. Main event, John Cena. At this point, the story is he hasn't won a match in 7 years. He's desperate to win number 17. He's got to do it by any means necessary. He cheats to win. Whether it's a foot on the rope, he just gets desperate. Cody fighting back, kicking out of AAs. Can't beat him with the STF. He cheats to win. Cody knows he cheated to win. Cody is so enamored with John Cena, he shakes his hand, hugs him. John Cena wins number 17. And John Cena on night 2, at the end of night 2 of WrestleMania 41, he turns heel. And everything that you saw at the Elimination Chamber, the low blow, the beatdown of Cody with the title belt, his Rolex, everything would have been the same without The Rock, without Travis Scott, not at the Chamber, but at WrestleMania and just John Cena. Can you imagine if WrestleMania 41, night 2, went off the air with John Cena turning heel, and we are all anticipating his promo on the Raw after Mania? We didn't have to sit through the fucking garbage that we got on the road to WrestleMania. That would have been, imagine WrestleMania going off the air night 1 with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman betraying Punk and Reigns, and that show ended the way that it did, and then John Cena turning heel on Cody Rhodes and finally turning heel after 20 plus years to end WrestleMania night. We would be looking at an all-timer. The Rock took that away from you. The Rock fucked that up. The Rock did not want any of this to happen because he made it about himself. He made it about turning Cody heel. Why would we turn Cody heel at the height of his popularity? Unless The Rock wants to do it for malicious reasons. He interjected himself. He made a storyline about absolutely nothing that could have played out great. Made a storyline, got everybody excited, turned John Cena heel, and then dipped and made himself vanish. Leaving Triple H with nothing but the scraps and leaving Triple H with nothing but Travis fucking Scott. Do you see how fucked up this is? The Rock single-handedly fucked up WrestleMania, not only because we got what we got, but the potential, without him being there, for Cena to turn heel in the same manner and have it happen at WrestleMania and not the Chamber, because everybody showed up at the Chamber to see John Cena win and go to WrestleMania and see Cena and Punk in the same match. That doesn't frustrate you. That doesn't frustrate you. In closing, I said this on Monday. Fit my tinfoil hat properly, just like as this Braves hat fits me now. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I like a good conspiracy. I think this is more leaning towards reality than it is conspiracy. There is a political rift backstage right now because there's no other way to explain this. There's no other way for The Rock to be so involved and get the fans so excited, ultimately to pull himself away from everything, unless he did not get his way. He wanted Cody to turn heel. I mean, it's right there. Plain as day. He wanted Cody to turn heel. Nobody wanted that to happen. His idea was fucking terrible. He got his ego bruised again for a second year in a row. He brought it to the table first and foremost because he wanted to get back at what happened last year. This year, this was his idea. Triple H turned him down. Cody turned him down. And he was the odd man out. So Ari Emanuel, who's got more power than anybody there, Rock, I need you at the Chamber. Come up with this thing. Rock sits with it for a week. We'll ask Cody to sell his soul. We'll do it. Boom, boom, boom. And then he disappears. This was Rock at the behest of Ari Emanuel to come to the Chamber. Do something. Get involved. We need you there for ticket sales. To do this one thing. And then leave. Rock didn't get what he wanted by turning Cody heel. Triple H said, what about John? Everybody loved the idea. Rock came back, asked Cody to sell his soul, disappeared. He did it on purpose. The Rock disappeared and ghosted everybody in the company on purpose. There is a political rift happening, and I said this word for word on Monday. Triple H is being sabotaged by Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson is single-handedly sabotaging the work of Triple H. And he's doing it maliciously. Now the blame went to Triple H because The Rock is not there. Who else are we going to blame? I hope you're not fucking stupid enough to blame Triple H for the ending of night 2 because that's unfair. Triple H is being blamed for this, and this is going to continue to... If you think this is the last time this will happen, you are dumb. This is the second time. I'm looking forward to what happens next WrestleMania when The Rock wants to get involved and come up with another idea, and it gets turned down. He'll dip again and let the fans down again, and Triple H will take the blame again. How many more incidences are we going to need before Triple H is removed from his position and The Rock comes on in and he puts his team in charge and he leads creative, or Brian Gewirtz leads creative? Because that's exactly what's going on. What about Rock and Cody? What about Rock and Roman? Are we getting those matches? Because those are the only two matches that even make sense at all in the story that they've already told us. If Rock and Roman is to happen, it will not happen with Triple H leading the story. The Rock will see that Triple H is out by that time, and he will lead the story, and he will lead Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, and Gewirtz is going to be the one riding the entire road to that conclusion. That's what's going to happen. Solid Monster said it last night. He wouldn't even be surprised on Tuesday Night Titans. He wouldn't even be surprised with the idea of Rock wanting to turn Cody heel, that he comes back as the babyface to fucking restore his ego. He was so bruised that the fans wanted Cody and not him. So he turned himself into the cool heel final boss so that fans could admire him and bow at his feet again, which ultimately was great television. But he did it as a way to get back. He did it as a way to remain in the spotlight. He wouldn't, again, this is coming from Tuesday night, he wouldn't go and do this. But Jason said last night that he wouldn't be surprised if he wanted Cody to turn heel, ultimately does turn Cody heel, has Cody be the champion. He takes the championship from Cody, ultimately to drop it back to Roman. This is the fucking mindset that we're at right now. Triple H is doing everything. Triple H is doing everything to move away from the Vince McMahon era. Trying to do this, trying to do right, trying to fix the mistakes that his father-in-law made for so many years with the product. And is Triple H perfect? No. But if you want Dwayne anywhere near creative after what we got the last 2 years, the ideas that were given and then shot down, and then after this despicable, fucking embarrassing replies on Pat McAfee, if you want The Rock, if you want Dwayne Johnson leading creative with his team, $7, Brian Gewirtz, you are basically asking for Vince McMahon reincarnate to be running WWE again. Rock ruined WrestleMania. Rock ruined the potential of a John Cena heel turn that could have played out at WrestleMania. And John Cena and his 17th win is now mired in fucking Travis Scott helping him win, having the worst WrestleMania match maybe ever in the main event. And there are some doozies in that category. One of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. One of the worst endings to a WrestleMania match or match period. You have Dwayne Johnson to blame for that. And he deflected and did damage control on Pat McAfee in the worst way possible because he just exposed himself for being the guy that I explained to you for 45 minutes in this fucking video. He should be ashamed of himself. If you're not going to commit to the stories that you have started on television, then don't fucking come back to television. We don't need you. Triple H doesn't need you. And at this point, we don't want you. If you are not ready to commit, then don't commit at all. This 1 foot in and 1 foot out deal, it fucking sucks. And it ruined what could potentially have been the biggest heel turn ever taking place at the biggest WrestleMania ever. If you don't want to commit, if you don't want to show up on television, then get the fuck out and don't come back again. I have been on the side of Rock to show up because the story has been fucking fun as hell. But after this weekend, I want to see nothing of Dwayne Johnson again on television. If this is the fucking stories and this is the narrative that we are going to have to fucking listen to, they should all be ashamed of themselves and don't go blame Triple H for the ending. You can blame him for everything else. The ending of night 2, do not blame him. The blame solely is in the lap of Dwayne Johnson. Thank you guys very much. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I felt like this video needed to be made today. I feel like it needed to be made. I've been on a roll this week. This is my 10th straight day of working. I am fucking fried. I'm taking all of Thursday off. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I may sleep the day away. I am excited that this WrestleMania season was the biggest and best that we've ever had. And I thank you guys for sticking with me and making this the #1 destination in the entire community for all WrestleMania coverage. Whether it's Monday Night Raw, WrestleMania itself, Tuesday Night Titans, blew away fucking numbers that we did previously by fucking 25 times over. Thank you guys for all the support. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up. Let's try and get to 170,000 subscribers. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 2,000 likes on this video. And make sure you guys go follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. I will be live again tonight. AEW Dynamite. My guy, me and Jesse will cover the show tonight, even though nothing's going on over there, especially with the news that's coming out of WrestleMania. We'll be live again tonight. Join us 10:30 p.m. Eastern right here for the Dynamite review on Off the Script. Until then, guys, enjoy your Wednesdays, and I'll see you live tonight for Dynamite.